recalls martyred intellectuals. Demands for ban on daily Shongram through treason charge. No sign of rape in Rumpa forensic report. Jute mill workers in Khulna postpone hunger strike. Those were the headlines. This is ATN News. Good afternoon, viewers. I am Nahreen Mustafa with news at 5. Today is Martyred Intellectuals Day. The day is being observed to commemorate the intellectuals killed by Pakistan occupation forces and their local collaborators just before the end of Liberation War. On this day in 1971, several hundred of the country's renowned academics, doctors, engineers, journalists, artists, teachers and other eminent personalities were dragged out of their homes, blindfolded and taken to unknown places. To mark the day, President Abdul Hamid and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina have paid rich tribute to the martyred intellectuals. First, the President and then the Prime Minister placed wreath at the Martyred Intellectuals Memorial in Mirpur of Dhaka Saturday morning. After placing the wreath, both stood in solemn silence for some time as mark of profound respect to the memories of illustrious son of soil. Later, Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir, the communal forces yet to be defeated. The government will release the full list of the martyred intellectuals before next Martyred Intellectuals Day. Liberation War Affairs Minister AKM Muzammil Haq said this after placing wreath at the Rayar Bajar Intellectual Memorial on Saturday. He said, "Preparation of the list is now at the final stage. The nation observes the Martyred Intellectuals Day every year. But even after 48 years of independence, the government still lacks a final list of the intellectuals who were the victims of the targeted killing in the final hours of 1971 Liberation War. Just 2 days ahead of the country's final victory, the Pakistan Army, in collusion with the local collaborators Al-Badr, Al-Shams and Rajakars, killed the most prominent intellectuals in the bid to cripple the newly emerging nation of Bangladesh." The relative of the martyred intellectuals and leaders of the various platforms have demanded trial of the impractical attitude of the anti-liberation force. They, however, demanded ban on Jamaat-backed newspaper Daily Shongram through bringing treason charge. After paying tribute to the great sons of the soil, family members of the martyred intellectuals expressed outrage. They demanded justice as the Daily Shongram mentioned Rajakar Kader Mullah as a martyr. The people who went to pay tribute to the martyred intellectuals at the graveyard at Rayar Bajar and Mirpur in the capital demanded exemplary punishment of those engaged in mentioning Kader Mullah as a martyr. They said the anti-liberation forces dared to do such acts due to the failure of the state implementing Bangladesh according to the spirit of Liberation War. Meanwhile, the editor of the Daily Shongram, Abul Asad, has been kept under police custody. A group of activists under Mukti Juddha Monch staged sit-in program at Daily Shongram office in the capital on Friday evening for mentioning the executed war criminal Abdul Qadir Mullah as a martyr in the news published in the newspaper. At that time, a group of youth vandalized the Daily Shongram office. They pressured editor Abdul Asad to seek apology. Later, Hathijir police went to the Shongram police office and took editor Abul Asad into their custody. The autopsy found no sign of rape on the body of Stanford University student Rubaiyat Sharmeen Rumpa, a doctor of the Dhaka Medical College Hospital DMCH said today. Dr. Sohail Mahmood, Head of Forensic Medicine Department of DMCH said a report will be sent to the police on Sunday after primarily analysing finding of a post-mortem report. Rumpa's second-year English student at Stanford was found dead in an alley behind Aisha shopping complex. Police learned of her identity the next day. Investigators are wanting for the forensic report and other circumstantial evidence in order to reach a conclusion of Rumpa's death. DB police collected several clips of footage of the 11-story Aisha shopping complex and surrounding areas to track Rumpa's whereabouts before her death. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has been ranked 29th on the list of the most powerful women by Forbes. German Chancellor Angela Merkel topped the list published Thursday. European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde and U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi ranked second and the third respectively. The world's most powerful women list highlights the female leaders, entrepreneurs, investors, philanthropists and CEO who are wielding their influence to drive change, Forbes said in a statement. Sheikh Hasina, the longest-serving prime minister in Bangladesh history, was ranked 30th on last year. The state-owned jute mill workers in Khulna have suspended their ongoing hunger strike for 3 days. After observing a hunger strike for 4 days straight, the workers withdrew their strike around 1 a.m. on Saturday. CBA and non-CBA Shongram Porishad leaders said after a meeting between leaders and workers, they decided to suspend the strike in honor of Martyred Intellectuals Day and Victory Day. They will resume fasting unto death from December 17 if their demands are not met within the next 3 days. The meeting was followed by another tripartite meeting presided over by State Minister for Labour and Employment Begum Munnu Jan Sufyan at the Khulna office of the Department of Labour on Friday evening. News from around the world. United States, Britain and France issued travel warning for Northeast India as opponents of the new law geared up for more protest Saturday, following days of clashes that saw 2 people killed and dozens injured. The United Nations Human Rights Office voiced concern on Friday that India's new citizenship law is fundamentally discriminatory in nature by excluding Muslims and called for it to be reviewed. The controversial bill, which was signed into law at midnight on Thursday, has stirred up opposition in Assam and across the country. Under the new legislation, tens of thousands of Hindu, Christian, Jain, Buddhist and Sikh migrants from Bangladesh, Pakistan and Afghanistan will be allowed to claim Indian citizenship. The same will not apply for Muslims. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is yet to visit the north of England later, hours after celebrating his party's biggest election win for the 30 years by sweeping aside Labour in its traditional heartlands. He hopes the Conservative victory will bring closure to the Brexit debate and let the healing begin. Johnson, however, is expected to announce a minor reshuffle possibly as early as Monday. MPs will then return to Westminster on Tuesday and begin the process of swearing in before the Queen formally opens Parliament on Thursday with reduced ceremonial elements. The Prime Minister has also vowed to reintroduce his withdrawal agreement bill to Parliament before Christmas, which could happen by the end of next week. It would see MPs begin the process of considering legislation that would pave the way for the UK to leave the EU on 31st January.
When the whole political debate is seen through the prism of personal abuse and
Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives took President Donald Trump to the brink of impeachment by approving 2 charges against him over his efforts to pressure Ukraine to investigate Democratic political rival Joe Biden. A divided House Judiciary Committee voted 23-17 along party lines to approve articles of impeachment charging Trump, but with abusing the power of his office over the Ukraine scandal and obstructing House Democrat attempts to investigate him for it. Trump is expected to become the third U.S. president to be impeached when the full Democratic-led House votes on the charges likely next week, setting up a trial in the Republican-controlled state. Trump's fellow Republicans have shown no sign of wanting to remove Trump from office. Republicans have defended Trump and accused Democrats of a politically motivated farce aimed at overturning his surprise 2016 presidential election victory.
We have the best economy that we have in really fairly much substantially less than 3 years, so that's something.
Before ending the bulletin, the top stories once again. Nation recalls martyred intellectuals. Demands for ban on daily shongram through treason charge. No sign of rape in Roomba forensic report. Jute mill workers in Khulna postpone hunger strike. That is all for the news for the moment. Thank you for being with us.